Okay, today is stretch and strength yoga. So a little bit of building some strength, a little bit of lengthening, and do what you can. So we're going to use a chair today for extra balance, blocks and straps. All of these things are props. They just make some of the things that we're doing a little easier to connect with the muscle group. They're not 100% necessary. You can just engage the muscles and pretend you're squeezing a block. You can pretend you're squeezing into the band, but they can be helpful and fun tools to play with. So if you have them, grab them. We are going to make use of them today. So we are going to get started on our back. And as you're beginning to lay down and arrive on the mat, start to feel your hips start to land on the mat. I'm going to read the card I pulled today. It's from the Hawaiian Intention cards. And the card is to heed or focus. So start to land in the room, take in your environment, start to take in what's going on physically, mentally, emotionally, really checking in. And then I'll read from this card. What you give your attention to matters. Everything you think, say, love, and do matters and is left an imprint on the planet throughout your lineage. When you give your attention to something, you attract energy and support from the universe. By choosing to focus on things that are in alignment with your core values, you will heed your life's purpose and stay true to your calling. So the intention that goes with this is my intention is to stay true to my core values by focusing my energy on things that are in alignment with my heart and soul. So even if you just take nothing else, perhaps remaining focused in your practice today. So giving yourself a little promise to stay on this mat, making like a little sacred wall around your mat, and everything outside, everything yet to come, everything that's been, everything that's going on in the world is outside of your mat right now. You're just going to land in the mat and stay focused in the present moment for the next 60 minutes, having an internal experience. Bring your focus down to your hips. Notice what's going on around your hips. Notice what's going on in and around your neck. And then bring your feet up to the ceiling and just notice what's going on in your feet, your ankles, your toes, your legs, the backs of your legs. Just notice, start to have an internal experience. Feel. Be present. Focus. Look at your feet. Move your feet. Spread your toes. Take some slow ankle circles. Notice what's going on in your back when you start to lift your legs. Maybe push your hips down a little to relieve some pressure from the low back. We're going to start to move and breathe from here. So making sure your shoulders are nice and solid on the ground. Your hips are a little pressed down into the ground by your core muscles. We're going to fire up the core. So the goal here is to fire up the core muscles. The stomach muscles generate some heat. Try not to use the back. So press the hips down, press the rib cage down. Inhale as you lower the right leg towards the ground. Exhale as you draw it back up. Inhale as you lower the left. Exhale as you draw it back up. If you notice your back wants to start doing all the work, don't lower the foot so low. Bring it into the core. Move and breathe. Fire up the core. Try to keep the heat in the core and not in the face. So if you notice it's coming to the face, if the heat is coming to the face, watch your breath. And watch your compensation patterns. Where are you gripping? Where are you fighting this action? Are you squeezing so tight in the core and resisting it that it's coming right up to the head? And then bring your knees in and give yourself a little hug. Reset. Grab your band if you have it. We're going to place the band just over the knee. So just over the knees, land the feet on the ground, knees up, and press into the band, engage. Press the hips down. So watch for the tuck of the pelvis. Try not to force the blower back down onto the ground. Press the hips down. Press the rib cage down and really fire up the core muscles. Land the left foot on the ground. Fire up the left leg. So now you're really using the left leg as an anchor. Your hands can be on your hips for extra stability. Bring the right leg up and hover. So get set up first. Engage all of the muscles of the legs. We're going to inhale as we lift the left leg out, press into the bend, out to the right, and then squeeze it back in nice and slow. Think about moving from the heel. And you can drop the left leg over to the left to give yourself a little more tension in your band. If you're not using the band, you can do this without using the band, but just use your muscles. Engage the muscles. Inhale out. Exhale, squeeze back to midline. Think about moving from the heel. Engage the foot even. Try not to lock the knee. The whole leg is active. Watching for compensation patterns in the low back. Really fire up the core to keep you stable. Bring the right foot down, land it on the ground. Take a little side shuffle with the knees just to reset any holding patterns. Land the right foot down firm. Set up your base, press the hips down, press the rib cage down. Shoulders are solid on the ground, left foot hovers. Really tightly engaged in the core. And if your back is doing all the work, check that your foot is not too close to the ground and your pelvis is not too tucked. Bring your hips down onto the ground. Hold and hover the leg. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze in. We're not just flopping the leg around. We're really trying to engage as many muscles as we can possibly find in the leg. Can you find the inner thigh as you draw the heel back in? The outer hip as you draw it out. Can you feel the muscles in the foot, engaging the foot? Watch for tightness in the face, soften the face, soften the shoulders. And bring the left foot down and take a side shuffle with the knees. Press your legs into the bend and bring your soles of your feet together. So now you're pressing into the bend. You may need to adjust it a little. Press out and see if you can engage the glutes. So squeeze the glutes, press the legs into the bend. Open out and then squeeze in. Open out, squeeze in. Inhale as you open, exhale as you squeeze towards midline, moving with your breath. Again, everything in your base engaged. So your whole leg, pressing your hips into the ground, pressing your rib cage into the ground. Core is fired up. Bring the knees back to center. Take a little side shuffle, reset. Release the band if you're wearing the band. Let it go. Bring the knees in and give yourself a little hug. Rock it. Roll on over to a side and come up to a tabletop position. We're going to move and breathe in our tabletop. Inhaling in a tabletop. Exhaling towards child's. Inhale forward and exhale back. Starting to take more and more weight in the arms. Maybe even bending and taking a little mini push-up. Following the breath, having an internal experience. Maybe swaying the hips, taking circles, whatever feels like the right movement in this moment for your body. Staying focused, feeling your hands on the ground, feeling your legs on the ground. Maybe experimenting with tucking the toes or leaving them untucked and feeling the tops of the feet on the ground, connecting. Maybe beginning to feel like you're pulling your knees apart actively. Take some options that work for you, moving with your breath. And then come forward to a tabletop position. Lower the forearms down and engage the forearms. So press your hands into the mat. Pull the elbows like you're trying to pull them apart without letting them move. Make space for your wrists. Really look at your hands. Maybe lift your fingers open, spread them wide, place them down. Play with how your hands and wrists feel comfortable with your arms engaged. So your arms and chest are engaged, core is engaged. Lifting the wrists, moving them, maybe tenting the fingers, starting to just feel what's going on in your own hands. And then place them down at the most comfortable shape for your hands whilst engaging your whole arm, your chest, your core. We're going to inhale as we draw the nose a teeny bit forward. And exhale as we send it a teeny bit back. Inhale forward. Exhale back, trying to keep that engagement entirely through the shoulders. Squeeze the core towards the spine. Maybe even firing up the glutes by feeling like you're pressing down into the knees and then pulling the knees apart. Trying to have that internal experience of firing up the muscles. Soften the face. Move with the breath. And then sink the hips back towards the heels without dropping them onto the heels. Long back, let the tension out of the head. Still engaged in the arms. This time feeling a lengthening rather than just an engagement. Breathe. Slowly bring it back up, forearms down, engage, set up, engage the core, tuck the toes. This time maybe hover the knees. Hold here. Lift up out of the shoulders. This is sinking into the shoulders. This is lifting up and engaged. Breathe, hold. Lower the knees. Send the hips back. Slowly bring it forward and come on up to a tabletop. We're going to turn our fingertips back towards us and slowly take a little weight. So our fingertips point towards the knees and then just adjust, taking a little weight on your wrists in a different position. The closer they are, the easier it is to bring some weight. Maybe even lifting up the chest and really taking some weight on the wrists. Turn the hands back, pointing forward. Adjust the hands. Tent the fingertips. Strengthen the hands. And then come forward and take a little weight on the fingers. Only as much as you are strong. So your fingers aren't buckling. Your fingers are strong. You're lifting up out of your fingers. And lower the hands. Back to a tabletop. Tuck the toes. And down dog. Take your down dog, warm up however feels right in your body. Right now, sway the hips. Pedal the legs. Really focusing on lifting up out of the wrists. Making space for your wrists. And then find the stillness of down dog. Connect with your head below your heart. Bend the knees, look towards the hands, and either hop or step up towards your hands. Land your feet wide. So feet wide, maybe a little bit wider than hip width, about mat width. Land. Great place to use a block. So if you have a block, you can hold on to the block to take your focus more into your feet and less into whatever's going on in your back. We're going to move left and right with our feet. So bending the weight, bending the knee, taking the hips over to the right, bending the knee, taking the hips over to the left. So start to figure out which angles feel good, feel right for you right now. So you can move the feet. You can leave the feet down and work through any grouping and holding in around the knees and the ankles. Start to have your own practice, your own focus on what is going on for you right now. And then land the feet. Start to engage the base. So feel like you're trying to pull the mat apart with your feet. This should fire up the muscles of the whole leg. Bending one knee at a time, lifting a heel, or elevate the heel, trying to keep the hips steady. So we're working through only the leg, nice and slow. Lifting the heels. If you want to begin to challenge your balance, you can engage the core and bring your arms up and out and start to play with lifting. One heel at a time, trying to keep the hips nice and steady. Fire up the glutes. Maybe starting to practice lifting both heels at the same time. Nice and slow with control. We're not flopping in space. We're trying to find that mind-body connection of all the muscles in our legs, all the muscles in our core to keep our spine long. Soften the face. Don't forget to breathe. And then bring it back down to your block. Hang out. Take the tension out of the neck. And breathe. Bend into the knees and take a deep inhale as we rise up all the way, arms overhead. Prayer to heart with the exhale. Land with your feet wide on the mat. So get nice and tall in the spine. Hands of prayer. Feel your feet on the ground. And from here we're going to move and breathe, building slowly. So keeping the feet wide, we're doing a little bit different than mountain pose today. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up. Exhale, prayer to heart. And then begin to lower the hips with the exhale. So inhale up. Exhale, bend, lower the hips a little. Inhale up. Exhale, bend the knees, lower the hips. So, adjust your feet to whichever shape feels right. So, there is no perfect alignment for our feet because we're designed to go in all kinds of directions. Inhale up, exhale down. But feel which way feels like you feel like that needs to be worked today. Maybe it's a different angle. Maybe it's not parallel. Maybe it's out. See what you feel is right for you right now. And then if you want to build upon that, we're going to lift the heels, come to balance, exhale, sink and lower our hips. Inhale, lift. Try not to over straighten the legs as you lift. We want to keep this in the core, not pushing into the backs of our knees. Maybe even trying to keep the heels lifted the whole time. See if you can have that sensation of pulling your feet apart without letting them move, engaging the whole leg. Come down to wherever you can hold it strong. Think about pulling your legs apart. Fire up the whole leg, the hips. Engage the stomach, pull the stomach towards the spine. Engage the glutes. Soften the shoulders, soften the face, hold, breathe. Feel the challenge. And then if the heels are lifted, slowly lower the heels and come to a wide mountain. Find your center. If you have the chair, we are going to use the chair for the back of our arms. If you do not, you're going to try and do this from a tabletop position. So you're going to come down to a seat and try and do it from tabletop. So, reverse tabletop. We're going to use the band. If you have the band, we're going to wrap it around above the knees. I think this one's too loose. Just above the knees. Bring your hands onto the chair. You're going to grab the chair. So basically sit on the chair, hold the chair, and grab the chair. You're going to set up so that you can have a bend in your arms. We're going to work the tops of our arms. Bend in your arms. Grab the chair, get stable first. Press into the band so that you feel engaged in your legs, and then lift the hips. Hold and hover. Maybe wiggle the feet out a little more. Take the tension out of the neck. Arms are strong, core is strong, glutes are engaged. Press into the band. Hold here. We're going to lift the right leg. And we're going to inhale as we squeeze it out. Squeeze it back in as we exhale. Squeeze out, inhale, exhale, squeeze in. So watch for compensation patterns. Try not to get this in the lower back. Want to keep it in the leg. Not moving the hip around. Not wobbly. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze in. Lower that right ankle just above the left knee. The leg is engaged. Hold and hover. And we're going to lift the hips and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lower the right foot down. Sit on your chair. Take your arms out. Throw your glitter. Flick the arms out. Find your breath. Notice left and right hips. Notice any differences. Holding onto your chair, get long, long, long in the spine. Lower the band to just above the ankle or somewhere mid-leg, mid-lower leg. We're gonna lift up from the spine, so really getting long and tall in the spine. We're gonna take the right leg out, long. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze in. Inhale, open. Exhale, squeeze in. Notice you're using an entirely different muscle group. Long in the spine. Watch for compensation patterns in the low back. Take it down. Shimmy out the legs. Let go. Take the right arm across the body. Left arm wraps on the middle of the lower arm, and then pull back. So you're gonna hold on to the arm and then pull the right shoulder back. Looking for a lengthening across the whole of the right arm and shoulder. So we're pulling with our muscles of the right arm and then push into the left hand a little. Flick it out, switch sides, left arm crosses, right arm holds. Pull back with the left shoulder and then push into the right hand just a little. Breathe and hold. Let go, flick it out, set up. We have another side to do. So holding on to your chair, get strong first. Engage the core. Lift the hips up off the chair. So slide off. Bend in the elbows. Engage the arms. Hold. Get strong. Watch for compensation patterns in your neck. Lift and hover. Left leg. Inhale as you squeeze up. Exhale as you squeeze in. Arms are engaged. Watch for buckling. Lower down. Switch the band. I forgot to switch mine. Band should be on your thigh. Lift. Left ankle crosses just underneath right knee. Engage. And then we're going to lower and lift the hips. So working through the legs. We're not just flopping around. We're trying to find the muscles in our legs and hips and glutes. Bring your hips back onto the chair. Take a little shuffle of the legs and flick out your arms. Really shake the arms, see if you can get them to jiggle and soften. And then setting up, feet longer, spine longer, left leg up, engage and pull into the bend. This time, lower. I keep forgetting to switch my band. So really engaging the leg. Strong leg, not flopping. Watching for lower back gripping. So engage the core, support the spine. Lower, release the band. Keep it handy, keep it up on your chair. Take the legs, shake them out. Notice left and right sides. Notice your legs, take some circles to the thighs. And then we're gonna come on up to stand and face the chair for balance. So we're gonna wrap our band around the right foot. You don't have to do this, you can just balance without the band. Wrap it around the right foot, right under the ball of the foot. Engage. So start to have little bend in the left leg. Really long in the spine. Core engage. We're gonna bring the right leg forward without moving the hips. So this is what we often do when we try to balance on one leg. Bring that hip back in. Square hips, even hips. Left leg, right leg forward, left leg standing tall in the spine, engaged. Soften the shoulders, soften the neck. And then really slowly, we're going to tilt the torso forward and take the right leg past the left. Engage, challenge your balance. Maybe even a little more bend into the left leg. Trying to keep those hips still square. Feel what it feels like to have warrior three with the right leg engaged. You can use your chair for balance here. Take your right hand to the left hand to the chair. Hold your balance. We're going to take the toes down towards the ground and then lift up. Pressing into that bend, holding that leg really strong. You can try challenging your balance, taking your left arm out even with the shoulder, or hold your chair. Bring your left hand back onto the chair if it's not there already. Left leg is a little bent. Right leg is still engaged. Hips are still forward. Bend the left knee. Bring it forward. Release the bend. Maybe the right hand goes onto the chair. We're going to take the left knee out to the side and in. Right knee out to the side and in. Out to the right and in. Squeeze. Squeeze the muscles of the leg. Bring the right knee out. Bring the right knee towards the shoulder and then push the foot away. Towards the shoulder, push the foot away. If you have some stuff to let go of, now's the time to fire it up. Inhale, squeeze in tight. Exhale, push away. Maybe firing up the breath. Maybe taking it slow. See where you're at today. Bring that right knee in. We're going to open up, bringing it back even. So the hips are now turned open. Straighten up that right leg. Maybe lift the right hand. Start to pull yourself up off the chair with your core. Half moon. Woo. Squeeze. Breathe. Lower the right leg down slowly as you bend the left. Warrior two. And your warrior two. Flip the palms. Land in a warrior two. Start to bring the torso over the front leg. So we can bring the back arm down onto your hips. Engage the core. Press the left arm away from you. So really strong in the core. Press, 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 press. Base is strong. Both legs are strong. We're not dropping into joints. We're lifting up and engaging and challenging. Reach longer, longer, longer. Look at your chair. Maybe start to come up on the toes of that right foot. Fingertips to your chair. Pop up nice and slow. And with control, back to half moon. Lift up out of your chair. Lengthen, core engaged. Bend the back leg. Slowly bring it towards the right shoulder. And then we're going to bend into the left knee and place the right foot down. Take some side shuffles with the legs. Wiggle them out. Particularly pay attention to the glute area on the left side. Maybe give little taps with your fists. Place your hands down on your chair and wiggle the legs out. Wiggle, soften, let the muscles go. I'm going to turn my chair around. We're going to go on to the other side. So back to your band, this time left foot. Under the ball of the left foot. Really start to engage. Right leg long, come to a stand. Little bend in the right leg. Come to a stand, engage the core, really tight. Bring the left leg a little bit forward, pushing into the bend. So the whole leg is engaged. Breathe. Slowly bring the torso forward and send the left leg past the right. We're coming to a warrior three, engaged with the band. Right hand can come out for balance, it can come onto the chair. Breathe and hold, press into that band. Lower the toes of the left leg, slowly lift the heel. This movement can be small. You can balance with the chair. You can challenge your balance by lifting your arm. Squeeze the core, take the pressure out of the face, soften the face. Land in a long warrior three, maybe holding the chair. Bend the knee, bring it in, release the bend. We're going to bring the knee out to the left and then squeeze it back in. Left leg is still engaged. Imagine you're still holding a bend, forcing strength in the muscles. So really finding that mind-body connection, not just flopping the leg around, but finding the muscles that make this action happen. Bring the left leg out. Bring it up towards the shoulder. Take an inhale, exhale, push the leg away. Inhale, round, exhale, push. Maybe firing it up, really finding something to kick out and get loose. Bring it in. You're going to place your right hand down on the chair if it's not there already. Start to come on over to the right side. Open the leg up to the right. Send it out. Left and right challenge seriously today. Half moon pose. Begin to lift up with your core, pulling you out of the chair, lengthening that leg. Breathe. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Get longer in the leg, longer in the core. Slowly bend the right leg and float down as slow and controlled as you can to warrior two shape. Flip the palms. Rest the shoulders. Breathe. Finding strong base. Bring the torso forward. Engage, 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 and hold. You can bring the left arm down to the hip. Press the right arm away from you. Get longer, longer, longer. Find your chair. Squeeze, lengthen, pull up. Pull, 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 pull with the muscles. Breathe. Bring in, bend the right, lower. And then take some movements through the legs, maybe even tapping it out. And hold on to the chair and really jelly wiggle your legs. Let the muscles go. Get that somatic shake going. And then, looking at your chair, place your left leg onto your chair. So heel down onto the chair. You can do this on the ground if you don't have the chair. Heel down. So, I can hang out here. There's no stretch. I can follow fold. My body fairly easily flexible. But what we're going to do is play with lengthening the muscles and engaging the muscles. So press the ball of the foot away and pull the hip back. So pull. A little bit of bend in the right leg. So hold in here. Now experiment with the idea of pulling that heel back towards you without letting it move. So pull the muscle, so you're pulling it. See how you can find the stretch in the back of the leg without moving the torso. And if you do not find the stretch that you're looking for, experiment with pushing the heel away. So not letting the heel move, but push away. Change the muscle. See if that changes it for you. So engage the leg, get really long in the spine. Find the back of the leg. And you can move the foot. So you can take this static. If you just like a nice, long, slow stretch you feel, you can bring the torso forward a little, lengthen, play with pushing or pulling in the heel. Or you can simply hold still and play with slowly moving the foot around and feeling different angles of the same stretch. You can push the foot forward, pull it back, have an experience of what feels right in your body right now. Maybe bend the right knee a little deeper. Sink to the hips down, trying to keep the hips even. Place the left foot down, flat on the chair. And we're going to bring the hips forward, engage though. So engage, engage, engage. Maybe lift up onto the ball of the back foot and then come down. So moving through back leg. Trying to keep the hips even and stable. Bring this front foot so that the heel is now off the chair. Hopefully your chair is nice and stable. And then move through, lifting the heel and lowering the heel. Hips stable. Right leg not locked. Maybe taking a little weight onto the leg as you move through the leg. Slow, controlled, having an internal experience. Maybe taking the left knee open. Slowly switch feet. Right heel comes onto the chair. Woo. And then have your own experience. So feel if you pull the heel towards you, how does that feel? If you push it away from you, how does that feel? If you hold it static, is that the juicy, nice feeling you're looking for right now? Or if you move the foot, does it feel like you get a little more for you right now? Neither is right or wrong. There are no right or wrongs. It's just having an internal experience with your own muscles, your own holding patterns. And then place the right foot onto the chair and sink the hips towards the right foot. And maybe coming forward, lifting up on the back leg. Just starting to have an internal experience with the front of this left hip, with the back of the left foot. Trying not to lock the knees. And then bringing the back of the right heel off the chair, stretching it through the back of the leg, lifting the heel, lowering the heel. Nice and slow with control. Maybe taking the right knee open, taking some movements. So the right leg is totally engaged. So moving, feeling the muscles, pulling up out of the chair. And then bring it down. Tap out the feet, really tap out the feet. And then take it left to right. Let your hands hit your hips, sway, let go. Think about clearing out your space, letting go. Land in a mountain pose and connect with the breath. Inhale up, exhale, prayer to heart. Inhale up, exhale, prayer to heart. Bring your prayer to heart center. Feel your hands at your heart space. Bring your hands to the center of your forehead center. Feel your hands at your forehead. Bring your focus entirely here. Bring your focus back down to your heart. Bring your hands to your heart. Turn your prayer down towards the earth and bring your hands to your mid-stomach. And bring your focus entirely here. Back to your heart. Interlace the fingers, maybe leaving the index fingers up. Take your arms up overhead. So taking your arms up overhead, not pulling the shoulders yet. So take your arms up overhead and engage the arms. We're not pulling out of the shoulders. Feel like you're ripping the mat apart with your feet without letting them move. And then push the left side open as you tilt to the right. So we're looking to lengthen the left side without squishing the right. So lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Push, push, push. Open. Engaged in the lower body. Watch for gripping in the back, the neck, the face. Slowly bring it back to center. Neutral. Hands to heart. Take a little wiggle, reset. Interlace. Arms overhead, not pushing the shoulders. Engage your base. Legs are strong. Push the right hips to the right. Lengthen the right side body as you tilt slightly to the left. Breathe. Slowly come back to neutral. Hands back to heart. Bring all of your focus to your heart center. Maybe even close your eyes. And breathe. raise your prayer overhead. Exhale, bring your prayer back down through the midline. Bend and touch the earth. Step back. Lower the knees. Find a child's pose. So if child's pose isn't your magic let go and surrender pose, make your way down to crocodile, all the way down on your stomach, forehead down on your arms. What can you let go of? When we have the chair, maybe you take your child's pose with your arms on the chair, sinking the hips back, looking for space in the low back. Not just dropping into the shoulders, but sending the spine along. And then make your way down to your back. So all the hard work is done. And take a moment to land on your back. Notice what is different. Take a little side sway with the hips. And then take the feet to the ceiling, really noticing what's different. Notice your legs, what feels different. Check in. Take right knee over left. Draw the knees in towards the chest and feet to opposite shoulders. You can place your arms down on your legs. You're looking to find release in the glute piriformis area on the right side. Breathe into this space. So imagine you're sending your fresh breath right to your right hip, your right glute. Breathing in fresh and sweeping away tension with the exhale. Slowly unravel, left knee over right, bring the knees in towards the chest, feet to opposite shoulders. And this time, sending your breath and awareness to the left glute area. Breathe, release, let go. And then as we move into our final resting pose, because we use the chair, you have the option to have your feet up on the chair. So my legs are a little short, but most people would have their legs fully supported by the chair. One of the things to notice if you are going to do this is oftentimes our hips can fall open. So it can be helpful to place something in between your foot and the chair, just so your leg knows where the edge is. Your leg doesn't feel like it's falling in space. It has something to lean against, and then your hips can loosen and soften any tension held in the hips. So thinking about internal focus and kind of the point of yoga. So oftentimes we think about yoga, we think about only the physical aspect of yoga, but yoga is union. It means to get the whole body in union, get yourself in union with something greater than yourself, get all of the layers in union, working together, feeling whole, feeling complete. And it includes getting to know the ego, the thoughts, the body. It's all whole package. So as you're settling into your resting pose, check in on yourself. The resting pose is supposed to be getting us as close to being a corpse as possible, taking out the tension in the body, letting it go. So if you're feeling holding patterns or gripping, or if you're like me, I used to actually just try and take an extra stretch. So try not to do that. That's the ego. It's the ego popping up. And it's also, for me, it was lots of layers. For me, it was fear of letting go. So I had fear in a classroom experience of letting go in front of somebody else because I had to hold myself together because of my trauma for so long. I was a tightly wrapped little ball, and I think if I had let go, it might have been a little messy. So think about finding the position in your body right now in this moment where you can fully let go, fully release into the ground. And maybe it can be helpful to say, right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. I can soften, I can loosen. And reminding yourself that this isn't forever. You don't need to fall apart and be soft and gushy all of the time. This is just for this moment. Just in this moment, we're going to trust in the ground and supporting us, and we're going to let go. We're going to let our bones be supported on the mat. We're going to let our muscles soften their tension, soften their burden. We're going to let the muscles of our face soften. We're going to let the thoughts just fly around, because if thoughts just fly around, we're going to soften the burden of fighting our thoughts. We're going to let the breath do whatever it's supposed to do. It does whatever it's supposed to do while we're sleeping. We're going to try and let that do it right now. Loosen the breathing muscles, loosen the torso, loosen the gripping, the forcing. For me, the breath was often a way of control. I was able to control my emotions, often able to control my reaction to my environment simply by my breath. But what I did was bring in a whole lot of muscular tension around my breath. So whenever I focus on my breath, I often get that tight gripping, like, oh, I got this. I'm going to force my breath into relaxing my body. So try and bring some focus here. Soften the breath. Soften the breathing muscles. The hips are big, heavy bones at the base of our spine. Let them soften into the ground. The skull is a big, heavy bone at the top of our spine. Let that soften into the ground. Let the soles of the feet soften. Let the hands ungrip and soften. And then I'm going to repeat the card as you begin to bring your focus really deep inside. Searching deep down inside, becoming so quiet and so soft that maybe you can locate the sound of your own heartbeat, your unstruck chord. What you give your attention to matters. Everything you think, say, love, do matters, and is left as an imprint on the planet and throughout your lineage. When you give your attention to something, you attract energy and support from the universe. By choosing to focus on things that are in alignment with your core values, you will heed your life's purpose and stay true to your calling. My intention is to stay true to my core values by focusing my energy on things that are in alignment with my heart and soul. Maybe you've gone to a soft place and you need to tune me out. Feel free to just switch me off, tune me out. And take your resting pose for as long as you need. We're coming right up on that 60-minute mark. So if you need to finish up your practice in 60 minutes, you're going to bring your knees into your chest. Make your way over to a fetal position. Keeping your focus looking inward, looking towards that heart center, your bliss center, your spiritual self. So when we think of bringing our focus, it's often misconstrued that we must push away and whitewash negative, or like clean up negative. Negative isn't really there. We're going to paint over it. We're only going to bring our focus to positive. And invite you to consider the concept that that's not quite what we're saying. We're saying that we will recognize that little nagging voice, the ego or the worry or whatever is going on. We're going to recognize it. We're going to know it's there. But we're going to actively choose to focus on our core values for the day. So our core values, whatever they are to you, whatever you know, when you do it, your internal spirit feels like this is the path I'm supposed to be on. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. You have that little intuition. It's not that we pretend that the thoughts are not there and the worries are not there. It's that we just bring more of our focus onto what keeps us moving in the line of our spirit, in line with our core values. Not to say that we don't fall from the path, not to say that the journey is not full of twists and turns, but that we're just gently going to forgive ourselves, pick ourselves up, and try again, moving in line with our core values. Bring yourself to a seated position. Finish your practice with your hands of prayer at heart center. Feeling this physical connection, left and right sides, meeting in front of our heart, and a little touch of our heart center, our bliss center. Bringing our focus one last time to our spiritual self, under all the layers. May we all know a little peace, a little kindness, a little understanding, and share with each other, draw strength from each other. Thank you for joining me.